Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Rick Bosley. I'm the team leader, owner of the Bosley Team and 3L Coaching. And I want to talk to you because I saw an interesting stat and I wanted to elaborate on it a little bit. And the stat was that April 13th through April 19th is the best time to list your house in 2025. Now we're saying it's the best time. It's theory, it's practical, but we're using numbers. And if you know our style right now, we are driven by numbers, driven by data, driven by fact. So I took a deep dive on your behalf with the help of ChatGPT. By the way, if you're not using AI and ChatGPT, we're going to have a future conversation with a specialist on that, but that's another time. I want to talk to you about why they're saying that the optimal time to list your house to maximize your return with your dollar, maximize your time on market with making it fast is coming up this week, April 13th or April 19th. So here's why. Increased sales prices. Homes listed during this week are projected to sell for approximately 1.1% more than the average week. And get this, 6.7% higher than if you were to list it in January. That means with our given price point, 6.7%, it could be an increase of around $27,000 compared to the prices that we saw in January. In addition to that, they are listed at this time are selling about 9 days quicker than the average, which reduces your time on the market. And then there's reduced competition. They say typically about 13.2% less competition from sellers during this week, which enhances your visibility of property for potential buyers. Now, this is all information taken from Better Homes and Garden and Florida Realtors. We have to pull the stats, and everything does go hyper-local. But what and why are those factors coming into play? Well, we know that seasonality kicks into play a little bit. And when buyers are looking to do it, oftentimes seasonalities come back. If you've been watching or following our content for a while, you've heard me say that we might be the most predictable market that we've had in several years because we're not getting whiplash or we're not getting hungover from things like the Great Recession or things like COVID. This is actually a pretty predictable market. With a predictable market, we see enhanced sales happening in Q2 and Q3, slowing down in Q4, staying flat in Q1. So we just got out of the first quarter where it was relatively flat. Now we're going to see a spike up in urgency and a spike up in demand. And with that demand becomes a higher price point. So with that, listing your house now on the very cusp of when it goes up, it's almost like when you want to buy a stock. You want to buy a stock at the start of it going up. That way you can do that. So take a look and keep listening to us for when and how these figures are playing out. There is a buyer demand. Spring generally sees a heightened buyer activity, which is going to attract more buyers coming on the market. Now, there are some external factors. There are some things like tariffs, and there are some things like uncertainty of employment, and that maybe creates a little bit buyer reluctance. But overall, as a whole, you're going to see a heightened increase in demand for homes going under contract, and therefore, if you can get there before every other listing gets there, then essentially you get the favor of the demand without having all the competition. Also, balanced inventory. They are on the rise. We're about 6.5 months of inventory right now. And think of that like a game of musical chairs. In a game of musical chairs right now, there are 6 chairs and there's one buyer. There's not going to be a whole lot of fighting for it. They're not going to be doing what they were doing when they were offering $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 above appraised value, but you're still getting it. And what we're finding is the good homes priced right at the beginning are still getting multiple offers in the beginning. Last week or last month, we talked about these seller tips in the home presentation, and there's 4 phases to get your house ready. Go ahead and take a look at that video again if you want to see that video, but it's essentially, it's like you're talking to your kids of companies coming over. So that'll help you prepare for it. Competitive pricing, it always boils down to the price. You're not a buyer until the price is right. So the most important thing is price it right in the first 2 weeks. That's when you're holding the card of being fresh and being new. After 2 weeks, you're no longer fresh and new. And so we need to price it right at the very beginning. The second tip I would say, if you are overpriced or if you're not getting the activity you want, do a massive price reduction, not a gradual one. Going from 500 to 495 doesn't create a new buyer pool. If you're going to do something like that, drop it from 500 to 475. That creates a new urgency, and now you've got some freshness again. It's like you just went on sale. It's not clearance. We're not doing clearance. We're actually price correcting, because what that says is your house at 500, buyer said no thank you. 495 isn't going to say, oh, now I'm going to go. It's 495. No, we've got to kind of recreate and create some more attraction. So competitive pricing, do it right, do it early, do it often, and do it to correct it. Don't just gradually go down. We've got to be able to do this. We've got market insights. Yes, this is looking at some Florida markets, but we got to look at Orlando trends. Then we've got to look at zip codes. Then we have to look at counties, neighborhoods, makes, models. And the more we can zoom in on that mouse, the closer we can get to an enhanced one. Listen, by focusing on these points, you can effectively see the advantages of listing your home during this period. Now, if you were thinking about it and you're getting this and the 13th has already happened, or maybe it's happening right now, maybe a moot point, but then we're going, hey, the train is leaving the station. So give us a call right now. If you've been on the cusp, talk to us. Let us give you a seller net sheet. Let us give you some hyperlocal data, and we can help you determine what does the market tell us, what could it yield. Let's make a plan to move forward. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you like this content, make sure you like, follow, subscribe to whatever you're doing. If you're reading this, seeing this, hearing this, thank you for being here, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.